Good afternoon and welcome to Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching the closing bell. I'm Santosh Nair.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Benchmark indices rallied for the 8th successive session today, and this is the first time in 4 months that markets have been rising for 8 days on the trot. However, there seems to be a slight difference in this rally and the one that we saw in November. Yatin, the conviction clearly seems to be lacking.
Yeah, in fact, I think the pessimism in the market that has led to the rally, because March was a complete washout for a lot of HNIs, small cap, mid caps, participation volumes, everything was low. Or that pessimism probably peaked in first week of April when the market started rallying, and still the volumes are not that great as we call it a conviction rally. This is probably a rally which is built on pessimism, on low volumes, low morale, and everybody is still guessing what's really happening to the market and why is the market up 8 days in a row.
Well, the bears are saying that nobody is really buying, and the bulls are saying that nobody is really selling. So both sides are claiming victory of sorts. Well, among the big gainers in trade today, we had mostly shares from the IT, auto and pharma sectors. IT shares in particular have had a good run over the last few days. We'll get to know what the demand picture is looking like. TCS will be reporting its quarterly numbers in a short while from now. Banks, realty and FMCG stocks were off color today. India volatility index up by about 2% to 12.3. Divi's Lab, Bajaj Auto, Eicher Motors, Adani Enterprises were among the prominent Nifty gainers, while among the losers you had Power Grid, NTPC, ONGC, Ultratech and Nestle. So some of the PSU names now beginning to lose a bit of sheen with once again focus shifting to growth stocks.
Absolutely, and in general the kind of move we saw in pharma stocks today was unbelievable. Actually, I have a few pharma stocks to talk about. But in general, today the comeback of IT and pharma was really good. In fact, ahead of results, TCS, Infosys are doing well. In fact, Saturday also we have HDFC Bank's results. तो वो स्टॉक भी मोमेंटम में था. तो जो रिजल्ट कैंडिडेट्स हैं कहीं ना कहीं यहाँ आपको थोड़ी बहुत मोमेंट दिख रही है. सैंटो.
Well, and with that, let's move on to the stocks on our watch list this afternoon. Eicher Motors stock was among the prominent gainers. So Macquarie, however, has a bearish view on the stock. It has downgraded its rating and also trimmed its earnings estimate for the company for FY24 and FY25. Macquarie's argument is that volumes are low and so are margins. Now, if you look at the valuations of Eicher Motors, the stock had a good run up last year. But since then it's been flagging a bit and it's come off quite sharply from the highs seen sometime in October. Now, Macquarie feels that valuations at about 24 times 2-year forward is at a discount to its historical average, which is close to about 28 times 2-year forward. However, Macquarie feels that this discount to the long-term average is justified given that growth outlook is slowing down. And besides that, you also have shortly competition coming in from Bajaj Triumph partnership, and there is talk that the pricing of Triumph will be close to that of Royal Enfield, and this in turn could lead to a bit of further margin pressure for Eicher Motors.
That is quite possible, and Santo, we have seen for Eicher Motors the waiting period also reduced significantly for Royal Enfield. और जनरली हम देख रहे हैं कि फुटफॉल्स भी काफ़ी सारे ऑटो कंपनीज ने ऑब्जर्व किया है मार्च के महीने में कि फुटफॉल्स भी शोरूम्स में कम हो रहे हैं. सो प्रॉब्ली देयर कुड बी सम स्लो डाउन इन प्रीमियम सेगमेंट बाइक्स एज वेल एज प्रीमियम 4-व्हीलर्स इज व्हाट ब्रोकरेजेस आर सेंसिंग एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम. बट आज दो स्टॉक्स जो फोकस में थे और दोनों सैंटो में साथ ही में ले रहा हूँ. फार्मा में आज लॉरस लैब्स और दिवीज लैब्स स्टॉक ने कंटिन्यूसली पेन पॉइंट देखे हैं पिछले 3 क्वार्टर्स में. अगर हम कोविड की बात करें तो इन दोनों कंपनीज ने ज़बरदस्त पैसे कमाए APIs बना के, रॉ मटेरियल्स बना के ड्रग्स के, और उसके बाद बिजनेस जो है वो लीन होते चले गया, गिरते चले गया. लेकिन फाइनली जो मार्च और Q4 का डेटा है फार्मा कंपनीज के लिए, फार्मा एक्सपोर्टर्स के लिए, वो एक्सपोर्ट डेटा अच्छा आया है. अगर हम लॉरस लैब्स की बात करें तो यहाँ आपको एक्सपोर्ट डेटा दिखाई देगा लगभग 50% से ग्रो होता हुआ मार्च के महीने में क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर बेसिस में. ईयर ऑन ईयर भी ये 20% की ग्रोथ दिखा रहा है. अगर हम दिवीज लैब्स की बात करें तो यहाँ भी लगभग $200 मिलियन का US डॉलर सेल्स इन्होंने किया है, और मार्च के महीने में अगर हम देखें तो ये सिक्वेंशली जो है 15% की ग्रोथ दिखाएगा। तो जनरली मार्च का महीना और मार्च का क्वार्टर ये दोनों ही अच्छे रहे हैं फार्मा एपीआई कंपनीज के लिए, और शायद इसीलिए आज दिवीज लेबोरेटरीज लगभग 10% और लॉरस लैब लगभग 8% से ज़्यादा अपटिक में दिखा। इनफैक्ट दिवीज लैब आज निफ्टी का टॉप गेनर था, और रीज़न यही था कि जो एक्सपोर्ट डेटा है वो अच्छा आया, और होप्स ये है बाज़ार में कि ये जो रन रेट है आगे जाके थोड़ी इम्प्रूव हो जाए। ऑब्वियसली वेट एंड वॉच रहेगा, क्योंकि काफ़ी वन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स भी होते हैं जो ये शिप करते हैं टिपिकली मार्च एंड के महीने में, और जब वो यूएस में स्प्रिंग सीजन शुरू होती है तो देखते हैं कैसे मैनेजमेंट की कमेंट्री रहती है, कैसे रिजल्ट्स आते हैं। बट हाँ, मार्च का महीना काफ़ी अच्छा रहा है फार्मा कंपनीज के लिए, और ऐसा नहीं कि लॉरस और दिवीज ये दो के ही एक्सपोर्ट नंबर अच्छे आए हैं। अमी ऑर्गेनिक्स, ग्रैन्यूल्स, ग्लैंड फार्मा, ये जो दूसरी सिमिलर कंपनीज हैं, इनके भी जो एक्सपोर्ट नंबर्स है वो सेटिस्फैक्ट्री आए हैं। तो नज़र रखेंगे दोनों ही लॉरस लैब्स और दिवीज लैब्स।
Well, a good comeback by these stocks, and given the punishment that these stocks had taken in recent times, that also means that the stocks are not as overowned as they were till some time back. So clearly that also helped in the rally to a large extent. Well, moving on to the last stock on my watch list today, it's ABB. Now this stock again had a fairly good run up last year. From a low of about 2000, it climbed all the way to about 3,400 recently, and that's a 70% gain, 22% rally in this year alone. Now that has also made the stock a little expensive according to Kotak Institutional Equities. Now ABB was always commanded premium valuations, but right now the stock is now quoting at about 88 times its trailing earnings per share, which is fairly on the higher side. But most importantly, Kotak has said that the sharp improvement seen in ABB's margins, improvement of about 200 basis points, and also its working capital days falling to about 10 days. Now these are clearly unsustainable, and also because the stock has rallied so much, the chances of a correction look pretty high. Kotak has not changed its estimates for the company, and says that now the stock is almost fully priced. It has a target price of 3,425 for ABB, and has now rated the stock a reduce. In fact, it's a downgrade for the stock. Overall, the order book position for ABB is looking pretty good at this point in time. It ended year 2022 with a 10,000 plus crore order book, and this has been the highest in 5 years, and the management has said that for 2023 also it expects to see inflows of close to about 10,000 crores. Overall order inflows from sectors like warehouse, logistics, electronics, railways and metro has been pretty strong for ABB, and the management sees that trend continuing. But then there's also the question of valuations. Clearly, Yatin, in this market, investors seem to want to overpay, no matter how good a particular story is.
बट सैंटो, डोंट यू थिंक कि एबीबी जैसा स्टॉक हमेशा एक प्रीमियम वैल्यूएशन पे रहा है, हमेशा महंगा रहा है, एंड द क्वालिटी ऑफ अर्निंग्स सस्टेनेबली दैट दीज कंपनीज हैव डिलीवर्ड, यू योरसेल्फ सेड कि 10,000 करोड़ की ऑर्डर बुक है और 10,000 करोड़ के ऑर्डर्स कंपनी एक्सपेक्ट कर रही है इनफ्लोज में. यू नो, आई थिंक दे डू अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क ऑन इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन, ऑन रेलवेज. आई थिंक वो सेक्टर से बहुत ज़्यादा अट्रैक्शन आ रहा है. इनफैक्ट आज भी अगर आप न्यूज़ पढ़ लें तो वंदे भारत की ट्रेन्स का ऑर्डर गवर्नमेंट ने फाइनलाइज किया है. इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन इतना तेज़ी से हो रहा है, ऑटोमेशन इतना तेज़ी से हो रहा है, एंड एबीबी इज़ वन ऑफ दोज क्लास कंपनीज, एमएनसी कंपनीज विच हैव ऑलवेज बीन एक्सपेंसिव एंड ऑलवेज डिलीवर्ड यू नो ऑन नंबर्स. प्रॉब्ली आप जैसा कह रहे थे 2000 के लेवल से स्टॉक 3,3200 हो गया है. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ यू नो लुकिंग एट एक्सपेंसिव वैल्यूएशन, वी शुड लुक एट के अगर स्टॉक करेक्ट होता है तो शायद मौका बनेगा खरीदने का.
Definitely. The only counter argument to that, Yatin, I would say is that of course the stock has always quoted premium valuation, but that also means that as the stocks keeps getting expensive, the upside then, you know, the risk reward ratio seems to get skewed. You may not lose a lot of money on these stocks, but then the question is whether you will be able to make a whole lot of money, because the stock seems to make money, make returns for its shareholders in fits and bursts. Well, and with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Closing Bell. Thank you for watching.
जुड़ने के लिए बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद.
And we'll be back with you again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Till then, for all news, views, analysis, stay logged on to moneycontrol.com.